Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So there's reports coming out in relation to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I currently said, and reportedly now he's stepping closer now to becoming Manchester United manager permanently, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because obviously, because I think he can command us in that position. I think he can elevate us to that higher level, can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said. And I think he can start now getting us back, to being a competitive team and all this, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I do believe. And I think he can start winning trophies as Manchester United manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We do hope this is officially announced, before the end of the season. Hopefully somewhere online, we can come to an agreement of giving Solskjaer the job on a full-time basis, as I currently said, because he does deserve it, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Of course, now, obviously, Manchester United have officially, made history in the Champions League as well. And obviously, now Solskjaer as a manager, this is obviously, one of his most iconic, this obviously now Solskjaer as a manager, this is one of his most iconic moments, as I said, in the history of the club as well. Because obviously, when Solskjaer was a player as well, one of his most iconic, moments was obviously in the Champions League as well, back in 1999, which was 20 years ago in the process, as I currently said. But he's done an absolutely terrific job as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's got the team playing in the right vein, the right manner, as I currently said. It's good to see that he's got a lot of trustworthy in the young players, as I said. He's obviously has made as well, made history in the Premier League as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which is very, very good indeed. We have got a 100% winning record away from home, since Solskjaer's coming as well. We've won 9 away from home in all competitions. We've won 14 out of 17 in all competitions as well, which is very, very good. I think there has been, 39 goals scored in the process as well. And I do think, we've won 10 in the league. But I think, Solskjaer's done more than enough now to get the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United. Of course, we know that investment is still needed in the summer, and we do expect departures in the summer, as we are aware of. But Solskjaer's going to have his say on our transfer plans in the summer. He's going to have his own say on it. Obviously, we've still got to sort some contract renewals out as well. But that was definitely a great result for Manchester United against PSG. That was an absolute miraculous comeback, as I said, and that was an extraordinary win against PSG. They seldom lose there. We had 10 first team players out, as I currently said, and Solskjaer does believe that Manchester United, can go all the way and actually, win the Champions League, because we've got a great chance of winning the Champions League. We can win the FA Cup as well, but it is essential that, of course, Manchester United, of course, do get into Champions League for next season, so we can have more of a competitive summer window as well, because there's still areas in our team, that Manchester United, of course, do need to currently strengthen up. But Manchester United officially made history in the Champions League, one of the greatest Champions League comebacks of all time as well, and it was absolutely amazing indeed, and one of our greatest matches in Champions League history as well. But reports are coming out now in relation, to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that is close. And Manchester United sometime next week are set to have contract negotiations, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So obviously in the process, we're obviously going to sort the length of his contract out and all that. Obviously, I think 7.5 million is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, something like this. Solskjaer, obviously, it's a huge pay rise though, compared to what he was on at Mold, because he was only on like £400,000 a year at Mold, where was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So he has got a massive pay rise in that scenario. But obviously, manager we had, obviously Jose Mourinho, he was on like £15 million a year at Manchester United, was Jose Mourinho. So Solskjaer is happy, to accept a lower pay package than Jose Mourinho was currently on. So Solskjaer reportedly is going to be earning half the wages than currently what Jose Mourinho was earning as well. So reportedly Ed Woodward has scheduled this meeting, and reportedly sometime next week Manchester United is set to have contract negotiations with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Reports do say he's going to get around 7.5 million. Obviously, I think in the process, Manchester United is still going to have to obviously, pay Mould off, of course, as well. Because obviously, initially, Solskjaer did say his contract term had expired at Mould, even though a couple of weeks before Solskjaer got appointed as Manchester United, Mould did say that, obviously, they did say that he'd agreed a new 3-year deal. So Mould, from their perspective, reminded Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that he was still under contract with Mould until 2021. Because obviously, when we hired Ole Gunnar Solskjaer obviously Mould's season had finished, and their season started starts at the end of March as well, does Mould. But reports do say he's going to get around 7.5 million a year. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think he's going to sign a 4-year deal, a 4-year contract term. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Reports do say that's going to be worth around 30 million or something like that. This 4-year deal, and I think there's bonuses included as well, as reports do currently say. But yeah, it's looking likely he's going to get the job as Manchester United manager on a full-time basis. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, and he does deserve it, based on his fantastic progression. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But yeah, reports do say it's going to be a 4-year deal worth around 30 million, plus there's bonuses included as well, and his annual is going to be around 7.5 million pounds or something like that, which is obviously a year as well. Initially, we've already paid 1.8 million to get Solskjaer on a temporary basis, but I think we'll have to pay a compensation fee of probably around 7-8 million pounds to Mould, to get Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on a full-time basis. But he's done an absolutely terrific job, as I currently said. He's done a really, really good job. He's obviously got us to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. He's got us to the last 8 of the Champions League as well. He's also got us in the top 4 as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But Solskjaer's done really, really well, and he's the right man for Manchester United because he's getting the best out of these groups of players. His mentality is absolutely immense. He's inspired the team. As I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a good tactician, and he knows what he's doing. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? He doesn't rest on his laurels. If he sees a problem, he addresses that problem. And of course, he knows everything about the club. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? He's a great player, great servant for 11 years under Alex Ferguson. Was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and all that? He won trophies and all that. He scored loads and loads of goals. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 11 years as a player, and he hasn't really proven himself as yet in terms of being a manager, in terms of like winning any kind of like silverware. He still won a couple of Norwegian titles, when he was on his 2 spells, with Mould and all that. When he was managing the Manchester United reserve team, he won a couple of trophies, there as well. But I think he can get us in that commanding position. I do think now we can be a competitive elite level football club with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in charge as well, and he does deserve it because Manchester United, we haven't lost a game in the Premier League, since he's come in. We've only in all competitions we've only had 1 defeat in 17 games as well, and that's an absolutely fantastic record indeed as well. But yeah, Solskjaer did say he's going to obviously have his say on our transfer plans in the summer, as he did currently say, but we want to have a competitive summer transfer window as well. So that is very, very essential indeed, guys, as well. But yeah, definitely the right man for Manchester United, of course, and we've done really, really well considering that we didn't invest back in the January transfer window, considering, the amount of injuries that Manchester United have had as well. I think for the Arsenal game on Sunday, there is a couple of players that are set to come back in, so we'll obviously look a lot more stronger because we had 10 first-team players out against PSG. Obviously, we came back from a 2-goal deficit, and I didn't think Manchester United would have done it, considering that we had 10 first-team players out, considering that PSG have got a lot of quality players, they've got some experienced players, you've got some good young players as well, and that was absolutely a terrific result, and that's probably one of the best results so far, especially since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in. But I think that's one of our greatest matches in Champions League history, of course, as well. But he's rejuvenated this team as Solskjaer, the structure of the team's right, the cohesion of the team's right as well, which is very, very good indeed. Yeah, reports saying that Manchester United is set to have contract negotiations with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ed Woodward has obviously scheduled the meeting and all that as well. I think his contract is we need to know the length of his contract, but according to the Daily Record, he's going to be signing a 4-year deal worth 30 million, plus there's going to be bonuses included as well, and his annual salary is going to be around 7.5 million. So he's going to be obviously getting half the wages than what currently Jose Mourinho was earning as well. But Solskjaer's happy with this. Of course, we've got to pay Mould around 7 or 8 million pounds, to obviously give him the job on a full-time basis, of course, as well. But it's just amazing, that you can see the vast improvements in the team, since he's come in. We're creating more chances, we're scoring more goals, we definitely look better defensively as well, as I said. But it's still essential that we do get investment into the club in the summer, because we do expect players to leave. It is a lot of the experienced players that seem to be causing us a problem. So it would be ideal, if we maybe get some young players, that could grow, develop and mould under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I currently said. But yeah, it's terrific news, as I currently said. So he's on the brink of getting the Manchester United job permanently. It's not been officially announced as yet, but when more things will update in the process next week, obviously, when they've had the contract negotiations and that. So obviously they've got to sort the contract out. I think the salary's already been sorted out, allegedly. I think it's going to be around 7.5 million annually, as the media does explain as well. So hopefully we can keep our fantastic 100% winning away record up against Arsenal on Sunday. Sunday, as I already did my preview earlier. It's a 4:30 kickoff, as we all currently know, and I'm very, very confident, Manchester United can win this game going up against Arsenal, as I said, because Arsenal at home this season have actually, been very, very good. The Emirates has actually been a fortress this season, especially in the Premier League. They've only lost one game in the Premier League at home this season, and that was to Man City, I think, at the beginning of the season as well. So the home record this season, Arsenal's has been very, very impressive indeed. Of course, they lost to Tottenham in the cup there. Obviously, they lost to Manchester. They lost to us as well in the FA Cup as well. Did Arsenal, as I said, and recently in the Premier League, they have been in a good run of form of Arsenal. To be quite honest with you, they was unlucky not to win last week against Tottenham as well, because obviously they've got Lucas Torreira suspended, so obviously Lucas Torreira is not going to be featuring in the game. Of course, Arsenal should have won last week against Tottenham because they played really, really well. They looked composed on the ball. They played good counter-attacking football and all that. Ramsey got his name on the score sheet, and Aubameyang, of course, missed a penalty. As I said, Lucas Torreira got sent off for a high challenge on Danny Rose. Of course, as well, there were talks that Kane was in an offside position, when that ball got played in. But I'd say Mustafi, cost Arsenal the points in that game, as I currently said. Obviously, Arsenal losing to Rennes yesterday in the Europa League as well. Arsenal are still, they're not out of it, Obviously, they've got the second leg at the Emirates, so hopefully, from their perspective, they can, overcome a 2-goal deficit, just like Manchester United did against PSG, as I currently said. But obviously, that's their only chance of any silverware this season, is Arsenal's, is the Europa League, of course, because obviously Arsenal want to get Champions League football for next season, so they can have a competitive summer transfer window, so they either win the Europa League and get automatic Champions League qualification for next season, or finish in the top 4 and get Champions League for next season as well, because obviously Arsenal have got the money, just obviously the owner, they've got Stan Kroenke, he's not investing any money into the club, he's obviously taking money out of the club, and that is a true fact, to be quite honest with you. Of course, Socrates got sent off in that Venice game as well, but they lost to a very, very poor French team, because obviously we know PSG are the best team, in France without a shadow of a doubt. I think Venice is sitting like 10th in the French league or something like that, but I think it's mainly a pub league, is that French league anyway. But I'm very, very confident, Manchester United, can go to the Emirates on Sunday and win, without a shadow of a doubt, because Solsjaker, since this man, he's got the team playing in the right vein. He likes the attacking, philosophy. He likes as well does what he's doing. To say it's all his first season, they went 20. So sorry guys, this internet's playing up, but yeah, they've got 5 players last summer, but there's still no investment is needed into their team, Arsenal as well. But mainly we've got a good winning record against Arsenal. We beat them comfortably in the FA Cup by 3-1, so that was a great win. We beat them at the Emirates last season, and I think they had 30 odd shots in that game, did Arsenal, but we still won the game by 3-1 as well at the Emirates last season. Obviously it was 2-1 at Old Trafford last season. Marion Fellaini scored in that game as well last season. It was 2-2 at Old Trafford earlier on in the season as well. Arsenal have had quite a few injury problems, this season. To be quite honest with you, they have got some good players. They were only restricted to loan signs in the January transfer window, of course, as well. Obviously, they've got Aubameyang and Lacazette, who I do really, really highly rate. Aubameyang's a really, really good player, and I do really, really like him. He's got a good ratio. He scores loads and loads of goals, and he leads the lines fantastically well. Does Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang, but he was very, very good at Borussia Dortmund. And same with Lacazette, I really, really highly rate him. I think he's a very, very good player. As most recently, actually Emery hasn't been playing Aubameyang and Lacazette as a partnership, as we all know, like he did earlier on in the season. But I think when they're playing as a partnership, they combine very, very well together. They complement each other fantastically well, do Aubameyang and Lacazette. But I do think, they're both really, really good players. But Lacazette was really, really good when he was at Lyon, as we all couldn't know as well. But obviously, Arsenal, from their perspective, know that they still need investment into their squad as well. Emery is a good manager. He proved it at PSG. He won trophies. He proved it when he was Sevilla. He won trophies as well. But Arsenal Manchester United is not quite the fixture it used to be, because this fixture mainly used to be a title side. When we had Ferguson for 27 years. When they had Arsene Wenger for 22 years as well. So basically, this fixture is the battle for top 4, because at the moment we are sitting 1 point ahead of Arsenal. They're just a point behind us. But if we were to win this game, we would be more of a commanding position, because we'd go 4 points clear of Arsenal as well. So it's a game that Manchester United need to win. It's also a game that Arsenal need to win as well. So Arsenal need to win. We need to win, obviously, so we can hope of getting a top 4, as I currently said. But Arsenal, of course, they've got Mesut Ozil there, of course, he's been in and out of the team this season. He's had a couple of injuries and all that. He's failed to really adapt himself for the course of this season under Rami. But as most recent, he's got himself back into the team as Mesut Ozil. I think he wants to remain loyal to Arsenal, does Mesut Ozil, even though there was strong speculation of him leaving back in the January transfer window. Obviously, he's on £350,000 a week. That's his highest. That's Arsenal's highest player. But I think he's happy to remain at Arsenal. Obviously, he signed a new contract. Was it a couple of years ago? Was it last year? Sometime Mesut Ozil. But there were reports of him going in January. New memory actually, wanted to sanction Mesut Ozil off in the January transfer window as well. To basically raise some funds and in terms of finances, save millions as well. But Arsenal still know how much of a central player he is. Of course, they've had injury problems as well this season. We've got injuries as well. Koscielny's been out for injured this season. They've had Socrates out for injury as well. Ozil's had a couple of injuries. Ramsey's had an injury as well. Iwobi's had an injury. Obviously they've obviously got long-term absences to Rob Holding. He's injured. Rob Holding's injured, I think. Yeah, he is. Danny Welbeck's injured, long-term absence, and also to Hector Bellerin's out injured long-term out, so Hector Bellerin's out at the moment. Rob Holding's out at the moment, and of course Danny Welbeck is out as well. Of course Steven Lichtsteiner is currently injured as well at the moment. So Arsenal have had quite a few injury problems as I currently said. Of course I know Aaron Ramsey's going in the summer as well. He's still giving it nearly 100% each game. When he does get given the opportunity under Aaron Ramsey. He's obviously going to Juventus in the summer because he's agreed a new 4-year deal with Juventus as Aaron Ramsey. Of course, he's going to be the highest British player is Aaron Ramsey. He's going to be I think he's going to be signing the 4-year deal. Yeah, he is. So when his contract expires with Arsenal at the end of the season, he's going to be joining Juventus on a free transfer. He's going to be signing the 4-year deal, which will make him the most a 4-year deal with £400,000 a week, which will make him the highest British player. And he's going to be the second highest player behind Cristiano Ronaldo. Event as well, but he's been a good long servant for Arsenal. Arsenal, I think, good standing because he has been very, very good for Arsenal over the years. This is his 11th season now in the process. He has made over 300 appearances in all competitions as Aaron Ramsey. He's won. So as that keeps playing up, but yeah, Arsenal probably will miss Aaron Ramsey as I couldn't said in process. But it'll be a really, really good game on Sunday. To be quite honest, so I'm confident. Manchester United are going to do it, considering that we've still got a lot of injuries as we all can know. But Solskjaer's game plan's very, very good. He always has a game plan set out, which is absolutely fantastic indeed. And it's good to see that he's giving the young players a chance. He's getting the players to express themselves, get them enjoying playing football again. And this is what Solskjaer's exactly done. But he did say, regardless of the injuries, he was going to give everybody the chance, including the young players, the fringe players. And this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has currently done at Manchester United. But I think report coming out, I haven't actually watched Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference. Martial is set to play in this game. I don't know if he'll start, but I think he's definitely going to be involved in the game as well. He just recently had a groin injury as Anthony Martial as well. And mainly when he has been fully fit, he has been very, very good on that left hand side as Anthony Martial as well. Still only young, as I said, but he's been very, very good out wide as Anthony Martial. So obviously that's really, really good as well. So that'll make us stronger as well in that aspect. Of course, as well, Paul Pogba, who's obviously been rested all week because he couldn't feature against Paris Saint-Germain, of course, because he had a suspension, did Paul Pogba. But obviously he's going to be playing in this game as well, which is very, very good indeed. More than likely he'll probably play in the number 10 role, where he does look very, very effective because he provides good service to the front men in that number 10 role. His break spots to box very, very good. He's been scoring goals, he's been providing as well. But I think he delivers good service to the front men. He plays them delicate passes through. So I think he looks very, very effective in that number 10 role, Paul Pogba. He sometimes plays in number 6, but I think he looks much better in the number 10 role, just behind, the centre forward and all that, Paul Pogba. So yeah, that'll make us stronger as well, Paul Pogba, because he totally bossed the midfield in the cup game against Arsenal as well. There's been reports coming out about Nemanja Matic as well. There's an outside chance, it's unlikely, but there's an outside chance he could be involved against Arsenal as well, because he's a big miss as well, is Nemanja Matic, to be quite honest, because we still know he's aging up, his Matic, he's very, very slow, we are, a lot of people, have strong reservations about him, but he's well Premier League proven, as I said, because when he was a Chelsea player, he won like a cup. Did he win a title or two, with Chelsea, when he was there, Nemanja Matic. But as I did say, he's currently got a muscle injury. It did say initially he was going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks, Nemanja Matic. I think he's set to come back like late March, sometimes it did say, but there's an outside chance, Matic could be involved. But I think since Solskjaer's come in, I think his performances have improved. I think he's fitted in that midfield trio very, very well. His distribution's improved. He's been galloping forward more as Nemanja Matic as well. So I think his performance performances have really improved. So if there's an outside chance he could feature as well, in the Man United in the game. We do still know that Ander Herrera's a return date hasn't been scheduled as yet, so we don't know when Herrera's going to be coming back from injury, because obviously he's got a hamstring injury as well. He's obviously got a hamstring injury, and he's been very good, especially since Solskjaer's coming in. He's been breaking up the play very well. His performances have been very good indeed. Of Ander Herrera's. I know for somewhere along the line, we can come to an agreement of getting him a new contract, because he does deserve it based on his fantastic performances, because he is a good ball playing midfielder, and I think he's been a very good player, since we got him from Bilbao, back in 2014, and this is his 5th season now with Manchester United, of course, is Ander Herrera's, so he does deserve it, based on his fantastic performances. He has got a hamstring injury, and we do know that is a big miss, as well as Ander Herrera. Juan Mata, of course, is still injured as well. We don't know how long he's initially out for, because again a date has not been scheduled for Juan Mata. He's got a hamstring injury, as I said, and we know mainly anyway, Juan Mata of course hasn't been first choice anywhere, because obviously when Lingard's been fully fit, Lingard's obviously been first choice, because obviously he's younger than Juan Mata, he's young in his generation, he's Jesse Lingard, and he provides that width very well on that right wing. I know he can play in an attacking midfield position just like Mata can, but obviously Lingard's younger than Mata. Lingard's got more pace than Juan Mata, as I currently said, but Mata's still a very consistent player. He's been here since 2014. We got him from Chelsea. He's well Premier League proven since he's been at Manchester United. Of course, he's made over 200 appearances. He's won everything in the Premier League apart from the Premiership, and that's the only thing he hasn't won. Juan Mata, as I currently said. But yeah, he's still a very consistent player, even though he's 30. He has lost that yard of pace as Juan Mata. In relation to Jesse Lingard, as I said, I love when Jesse Lingard comes to the Emirates, because I think he scored like on his last visits to, but he scored in the this season at the Emirates as well, which is very good to see. Did Lingard scored in the fixture last season at the Emirates as well, in the Premier League as well. But I doubt Jesse Lingard will be in contention, because also he's got a hamstring injury as well. So I don't know when Jesse Lingard will be currently coming back. We do know obviously Alexis Sanchez is definitely not going to be featuring, because he's out for 4 to 6 weeks with an injury. He's got knee ligament damage as Alexis Sanchez as well. So he's out for 4 to 6 weeks, and I think he's on his way out of the club anyway, and I think Solskjaer's lost all his trustworthiness in him. He's lost faith in Alexis Sanchez, as I said, because he's endured a very difficult time since he's been at Manchester United. Of course, he's been here just over a year as Sanchez. Of course, he's had quite a few injuries. He's had a couple of hamstring injuries before he's just got this knee ligament damage as well as Alexis Sanchez. But I just think he struggled to be consistent. He hasn't established himself, and I think he struggled to fit under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system as Alexis Sanchez. And I do think with Solskjaer's lineups and his tactics and all that, I think he will lose that number 7 shirt, Will Sanchez. So I do think he'll go in the summer, Will Alexis Sanchez as well, without a shadow of a doubt. I think Sanchez is on his way out of Manchester United. Of course, he's on over £500,000 a week, so we want to see the best of Alexis Sanchez, but there's just no improvements in his performances, and he's lacked goals, he's lacked consistency. Of course, he's aging up, he's 30 years of age now, he has lost that yard of pace as well, but he's nowhere near the player he was at Arsenal. So I think Man United are considering getting rid of him as well. Eric Bailly, as I said, he's just recently suffered a knock as well. He suffered it against PSG. This is why he came off in the game. Bailly, to be quite honest with you, was actually playing in an unnatural position against PSG, was Eric Bailly. To be quite honest with you, he's been in and out of the team this season as Eric Bailly. We still know he's got really good, great potential. Obviously, we got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for around £30 million, and I still really like him. I still think he's a very good defender, is Eric Bailly. But obviously, mainly, since obviously Chris Smalling has recovered from injury, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's obviously gone with Smalling and Lindelof as a centre-back partnership. As I said, I think they are blending in very well together, Smalling and Victor Lindelof, to be quite honest with you. And since Smalling's recovered from injury, I think his performances have been good. I think he's been very immense, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. And he has been one of the longest serving players at Manchester United. This is his 9th season now at Manchester United. Is Chris Smalling's, as we all know. Of course, he's won everything here as well in English football. But yeah, his performances are really improved since he's come back from injury. But Eric Bailly, as I did say, he will get more opportunities, as I said. But obviously, he's suffered like some kind of knock at the moment, so obviously probably won't be involved against Arsenal as well. And we've obviously got other injuries as well. Darmin's just, I think he's back in training, but he's recently been injured. Of course, Valencia is out with a calf injury as well. He's on his way out of the club. Is Antonio Valencia, without a shadow of doubt. He's been one long serving players here. Of course, we opted against the decision to give him that 1 year extension. So Manchester United have not give Antonio Valencia that 1 year extension. His current contract comes to an end this summer. Does Antonio Antonio Valencia's as well. And he's been here, this is his 10th season now at Manchester United. Of course, he's won everything. He's made over 300 appearances in all competition. Over the years, he has been essential, Antonio Valencia, as we all know. But I think he's going to be leaving Manchester United in the summer. Darwin, I think, is on his way out in the summer as well, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But we know mainly Young's been operating right, but I think Young's too old now. Valencia's 33, Young's 33, as I said, and I think he's getting exploited far too easily on that right-hand side of last year. This is what his 7th, 8th season out at Manchester United, and I think he's too old now, his last young, so I think, he needs to leave in the summer. Probably won't. He'll probably wait till his actual one year fin extension, expires, which will be the summer of 2020, of course, as well. Then I think he'll probably leave Manchester United, to be quite honest, because I've already identified, the areas, where Manchester United, of course, need to strengthen up as well. But as I said, I've been impressed with the majority of the team, guys. As I currently said, I think Lukaku's performances have been absolutely fantastic indeed. And Lukaku has got a really, really good pedigree in the Premier League, as we all currently know. We do know he's slow. We do know his first touch really, really concerns us, does Romelu Lukaku's. And I think Lukaku's performances have just been absolutely fantastic indeed. His performances have been absolutely fantastic, especially in the last 3 games. He scored 6 goals in his last 3 games, as well as Romelu Lukaku. So he just proves, that he can score goals, can Romelu Lukaku. As I said, I know there has been speculation that possibly Lukaku could leave Manchester United in the summer. Man United may decide, to sell Lukaku in the summer, and if we do, I think he's indicated that he does want to make the move to Juventus, Romelu Lukaku. If Manchester United do decide to sell him in the summer, of course, we'll be looking to recoup the majority, or the initial £75 million we did pay for him from Everton, Romelu Lukaku. But overall, he's still a player that can be on at least 20, 25 goals a season, even though we know he's slow and all that, and his first touch was concerned. But I think his form's been definitely rejuvenated, since Ole Gunnar Solsjaker has come in as well. So I have been very, very impressed with these performances indeed. But it's good to see, that Solskjaer's got a lot of belief and a lot of faith in the young players as well, which is very, very good indeed. Rashford again, scoring the decisive penalty against PSG. Rashford's a really, really good player again. Hopefully somewhere along the line, we can come to an agreement of getting Marcus Rashford a new deal at Manchester United, because he does deserve it based on his performance. I think he's set to sign a new 6-year deal, which would take him under contract till 2025, plus an option of a further year to 2025. Sorry about that. And we'll take him to the age of 27. And yeah, that's very, very good news indeed. His current deal ends in 2020. There's also an option of a further year as well. But I think he's set to sign a new 6-year deal. His wages will obviously, increase as well. Will Marcus Rashford's as well. But he deserves it based on his fantastic performances. Everything's improved since Solskjaer's coming. Rashford's gameplay. Rashford's been playing really well. He's been playing in a key role. His finishing's improved. So I think he has got that finishing. I think he's got that end product now as Marcus Rashford. His goal scoring form's improved as well, and he's fitted in the team fantastically well, as I said. And he's only very, very young. He's 21, and I think he's growing, he's developing, he's flourishing fantastically well. Is Marcus Rashford. So I have been very, very impressed with him indeed as well. But Solskjaer's the right man for Manchester United. I think he can get us in that commanding position. He's getting us back to being an elite level football club, and I think Solskjaer can get us back being competitive. He can start winning trophies now as a manager with Manchester United, get some new additions into the club in the summer, and that Solskjaer's going to have his say on our transfer plans in the summer as well. But reports do say Manchester United are set to open contract negotiations with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer next week, because he's closing in on being Manchester United manager permanently, as I said. So we're set to have contract negotiations with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer next week. Obviously, his salary his annual salary has already been confirmed, so he's going to get around 7.5 million. That's that's what his annual salary is going to be. According to the media, his contract, I think, is going to be a 4-year deal worth around £30 million, plus there's bonuses included as well. And plus, I think we're going to pay a compensation of around £7-8 million to Mould to obviously, give him the job on a full-time basis as well, which is very, very good news indeed, because initially we paid 1.8 million at the moment to get Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on a temporary basis, as it does mention. And he's not bothered, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's obviously going to be receiving a less wage package than what currently Jose Mourinho earned a year, because Jose Mourinho was on 15 million a year. So Solskjaer's obviously going to be getting half the wages than what currently Mourinho was currently getting a year as well. But good news is he's going to be getting a huge pay rise, as I currently said, annually, because obviously only annually at Mould he was on like £400,000 a week annually at Mould. So he's going to be on 7.5 million at Manchester United, when he does get the job permanently as well. job permanently as well. But definitely the right man for Manchester United, as I currently said. You can see that the players want to play under him, which is very, very good. Creating more chances. The front men are no longer looking isolated. We've got defenders that are willing to play out from the back as well. And I think he gives good instructions to the team. And I think he's just an absolutely fantastic manager. Indeed, I didn't expect him to do this well as Manchester United manager, Ole Gunnar Solsjaker, as I say. So as I did say, I haven't read so much transfer rumours that have been going on as late. But recent reports, as we all know, have been coming out about Jadon Sancho, guys, as I have been updating you on, in relation to Jadon Sancho. It's reportedly said that Manchester United and PSG have been interested in Jadon Sancho, the young 18-year-old. As I couldn't say, the narrative came out about it like a couple of years back, when he actually left Manchester City. I think at that moment in time, Manchester United were actually interested in Jadon Sancho. Only very, very young, mainly a winner, only 18 years of age, only broke into the England senior team last year as well, did Jadon Sancho. But since he's broke into the Borussia Dortmund first team, his performances have been absolutely fantastic indeed. Reports are saying that Manchester United are prepared to pay up to £100 million to get him in the summer. So this does mean this would make him the most expensive English footballer ever if we were to come to some kind of agreement to get Jadon Sancho. Reportedly, reports are now coming out of recent saying he will stub Manchester United and he will stay at Borussia Dortmund and will remain loyal to Borussia Dortmund. But reports do say Manchester United are willing to pay up to £100 million in the summer. This obviously means we can make him our most expensive player. Also, it does mean we can also make him the most expensive English footballer ever if we are willing to pay £100 million for Jadon Sancho. Of course, it's also said that PSG have also been interested in him as well. He is still under contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022, is Jadon Sancho, of course, but his performances have been fantastic for Borussia Dortmund, and he's had experience of playing English football, because don't forget he had a couple of years with Man City. He never broke into the first team with Manchester City. This is the majority of the reason why he left City and went to Borussia Dortmund. Of course, he actually began his career with Watford as well, did Jadon Sancho, but financially Borussia Dortmund would make a huge profit on the player, if they were to sell him in the summer, of course, as well, because they only paid the initial 7-8 million, was it 7 or 8 million pounds for him for Manchester City, of course, as well. And Borussia Dortmund have been known for doing business, with their players. They did it with Ousmane Dembele, sold him for 105, 106 million. They sold Aubameyang for 58, 59 million pounds as well. Obviously, Pulisic has been loaned back to Dortmund for the remainder of the season. He's going to be officially a Chelsea player next season. Is Christian Pulisic, and they've sold him for 58 million pounds as well. But we do know that Jadon Sancho is not going to come cheap, as we all currently know. But he's a very, very good player, is Jadon Sancho. Without a shadow of a doubt, he's a very, very good player without a shadow of a doubt, is Jadon Sancho. I think City have got a buyback option on the player as well. I think it did say if Manchester United had to come to some kind of agreement to get him in the summer, City would receive around 15% of the transfer fee, or something like this, as reports do currently say. But he's got absolutely immense talent, as Jadon Sancho, and he's got a lot of years. If we have got any hopes of obviously, get Champions League for next season, if we've got any chance of getting him, so Champions football hinges on us getting Jadon Sancho in the summer. But reports do say he will sub any offer of 100 million and he will stay at Borussia Dortmund, Jadon Sancho. But I think there's been a few teams actually interested in him as well. There's been a few teams interested in Jadon Sancho. There's been a few teams interested in Jadon Sancho as well. There's been other players, Manchester United have showed an interest in as well. We know we've been keeping track of, that young star Felix as well. That Benfica, 19-year-old, I've been updating you on a regular basis. Only 19 years of age, of course. He's called Joel Felix, and he would cost around 105 million in the summer. If Benfica were prepared to do any business, because that's his buyout clause, is around 105 million pounds. Of course, since he's broken into the Benfica first team, reportedly his performances have been very, very good. He's yet obviously only broke into the Benfica first team last year. He's yet to make his senior debut for Portugal, but Man United have instructed scouts, to keep a close eye out on Joel Felix as well. But reports do say Manchester United have showed an interest in Joel Felix as well. So his name has been mentioned in the media as well. Joel Felix. So there's been talks about Joe Felix going on as well, but a few teams have actually expressed their interest in this young player as well. And there's been other targets Manchester United have been interested in as well. There has been talks going on about Bruno Fernandes yet again, another younger player as well. Bruno Fernandes, Sporting Lisbon midfielder. Has got a contract with them till 2023. Reports are coming out saying that Manchester United have held talks with Sporting Lisbon over making a potential summer move for Bruno Fernandes. Reports do say Man United could get him in a cut price transfer in the summer based on Sporting Lisbon's kind of financial problems they've got or something like that. Supposed to be a good player. Reportedly he's had a good campaign this season. With Sporting Lisbon. He's mainly, I think, he is a midfielder. Is this player? I think he can play in other positions as well. This player, so he is versatile. He actually spent the entirety of his playing career in Italy, mainly. He was at Sampdoria. He was at Udinese as well, was a player. And unless you're Sporting Lisbon paid around £8 million for him from Sampdoria. I think he has actually got a release clause of around £90 million as well, the player. But reports do say he could be available on a cut price transfer as well. So I have been hearing rumours about that going, and it's also said that Liverpool have also been interested in him as well. I think a few teams have been interested in Bruno Fernandes as well. Any other transfer rumours? And we know there's been rumours going on as well in relation to Romelu Lukaku. There's been rumours saying that Manchester United are prepared to make a £120 million move for Paul Dybala from Juventus if Lukaku is to leave Manchester United in the summer. Reports do say there's a possibility. There's rumours that have been coming out. There's a possibility that there could be a player plus cash deal involving Romelu Lukaku. So this potentially means Man United willing to offer £120 million for Dybala plus Lukaku as part of the deal as well. So there has been a lot of talks going on that there could be a potential swap deal involved in that as well. And Dybala is a very, very good player. It will probably take a bid in the region of around £120 million anywhere to convince Juventus to sanction him off, because Juventus know how much of an essential player is, and Juventus basically are reluctant to sell him. But if Man United are willing to pay £120 million, this would probably convince Juventus to offload him, as I said, because Juventus just showed an interest in Romelu Lukaku. Reports have come out saying that Inter Milan have also been interested in Romelu Lukaku as well. Paulo Dybala, very, very good player though. I think he'd be a good addition to our team. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him, Paulo Dybala. He's only 25. He's Argentinian. He's a prolific goal scorer as well. He's good box to box. He's an efficient finisher as well. He's Paulo Dybala, as I said. Juventus paid around, was it €32 million for him or something like that from Parma or something like that. This is his fourth season now at Juventus. He's made over 100 odd appearances for Juventus as well as Paulo Dybala. But yeah, really, really good player. He's never played in English football, Paulo Dybala, but he did say Man United are willing to make a £120 million move for him if Lukaku is to leave in the summer, and that was reported in Sky Sports. There's also been talks going on about Lukaku and Icardi as a potential swap deal as well, because obviously Inter Milan have identified Lukaku as a good replacement for Icardi as well. Icardi's actually just recently lost the captain's armband with Inter Milan. Of course, he's Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time. He has got a release clause of around £100 million as Icardi. This is why he's valued at around that as well. So his release clause is around £100 million. I think Inter Milan are increasingly, becoming frustrated with him as well. Again, he's got a lot of years ahead of him, a prolific goal scorer, one of the biggest names in Italian football like Dybala, because he's just turned 26. Icardi, of course, he's Argentinian as well as Icardi as well. And since he's been in Inter Milan, he's scored over 100 odd goals at Inter Milan. As I said, the majority of his goals have come at Inter Milan, because this is his 6th season now with Inter Milan. He's Icardi, and I do think he's a very, very good player. Obviously, Inter Milan got him from Sampdoria, where he had one impressive season with Sampdoria as well. So yeah, it did say Man United. There's been talks of Lukaku and Icardi as a potential swap deal as well. There has been talks of Icardi and Lukaku as a potential swap deal as well. And, there's obviously been other targets, where we've been interested in as well. Obviously, one of the key areas we want to strengthen up is our defensive area as well. And that's very, very essential indeed. But I'm confident Manchester United can get the result on Sunday against Arsenal, as I couldn't said, because Arsenal at home this season have been very, very good, but away from home they have been quite poor, to be quite honest with you, because obviously both teams are battling out for the top four. Of course, we're going to look stronger going into the game on Sunday, even though we've still got a lot of injuries. Paul Pogba's coming back into the team, which is very, very good. Matic has got a slight chance of playing, but I doubt it very, very much. Martial, I think, is going to be involved in the game. Whether he starts or not, I do not know. But yeah, we're going to look stronger in that aspect as well. And Paul Pogba, with his quality, can cause all sorts of problems for Arsenal. I think Lukaku will get a chance as well. He should get a chance on Lukaku because he's been in absolutely great form as well as Romelu Lukaku. But yeah, we'll see what happens as I said. But yeah. Reports are coming out that Solskjaer took a step closer to getting the job as Manchester United manager on a permanent basis, as it did currently say. Reports do say sometime next week, Manchester United, Ed Woodward has scheduled a meeting that Manchester United are set to have contract negotiations with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and all that, sometime next week. Reports do say his annual is going to be around 7.5 million. Obviously, that's a year. I think his contract is allegedly is going to be a 4-year deal, according to one of the media outlets. It's going to be a 4-year deal worth 30 million. I think there's going to be bonuses included. There's going to be bonuses included as well. Which is very, very good news. Of course, we're going to be paying a compensation. We're going to be paying a fee of around £7-8 million to Mould anywhere to give him the job on a full-time basis, as it currently said. But Solskjaer has done a terrific job, and I think we can still win a trophy. We've got a great chance of the FA Cup. As I said, Champions League, don't rule us out for that. I don't think we'll win the Champions League. Solskjaer does believe, still that we can basically, go all the way as well. And this is according to what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had currently said as well in the process. But we do know, obviously, Manchester United, still may go for, Napoli's Koulibaly in the summer as well, because he's been a potential Manchester United target as well as, Koulibaly, from Napoli. Of course, in the process, Manchester United have been linked with him for the past couple of transfer windows, Koulibaly. And I do really, really highly rate Koulibaly, to be quite honest with you. I think he's a really, really good player. He's versatile, and I think he's one of the best central defenders in world football, is Koulibaly, as I said, because obviously, if Manchester United were to come to any agreement to get him in the summer, it would cost us in the excess of at least £90 million, something like that. So obviously we would make him the most expensive defender in world football, because obviously back in the January transfer window, Manchester United held negotiations, of course. Obviously, in the process, Manchester United had 3 bids to turn down. The recent one, obviously, was £95 million, as I said. And of course, his performances have been fantastic for Napoli. He's flourished. He flourished under Maurizio Sarri. Now he's flourishing fantastically well under Carlo Ancelotti. He has still got a contract, don't forget, with Napoli until 2023 as Koulibaly as well. But reports do say that, I think he did say before, that he's fully committed to Napoli. He's happy at Napoli. He said he was happy that he was attracting interest Koulibaly, but we've identified him as our number one target, Koulibaly, as well. So Man United could still go for him in the summer as well. Napoli only paid around £6 or £7 million from Genk, and he actually began his career with Metz as well. Where did Koulibaly, as I currently said, but he's been at Napoli a number of years now as Koulibaly. But Manchester United have identified him. We've identified him as our number one target, as I currently said. But Manchester United probably will revive their interest, to go and get him in the summer. But it will take a bid in the region of around £90-100 million to get Koulibaly in the summer. He suffered racial abuse last year, and then at that moment in point, he did say, he was unhappy, with Napoli and all that. But he definitely addressed our defensive deficiencies, fantastically well, as I currently said. But, there hasn't been much news going on about Koulibaly as most recent, but the rumours will still continue to persist, as I currently said. But I think he'll probably end up staying at Napoli, to be quite honest with you. But we've obviously got other alterations, that we are going to go for them as well, because we are linked with a few players. We are linked with a few players as well. But the recent name who's been mentioned in the media is obviously, being Jadon Sancho and Paulo Dybala and all that as well. Let's think, as any other targets, Manchester United have been linked with. I know that Ivan Rakitic name also got mentioned in the media as well. Isco got mentioned in the media the other day as well. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the process of that as well. So yeah, anyway, Solskjaer now as manager, basically this is one of his greatest achievements as manager, in the Champions League. Obviously now as manager, one of his most iconic moments of the club's history. When he was a player, he had one of his most iconic moments in the Champions League as well. In 1999, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. But that was a great result against PSG, and it's going to give us confidence, going into this Arsenal game as well. And he's a cheap alternative, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Anyway, it'll only cost us around £7-8 million to give him the job full time. This will obviously, go to mould as well. But yeah, he's done a really, really good job, and Ed Woodward's praised him for the fantastic job he has currently done as Manchester United manager. But he's done more than enough now, to get the job on a full-time basis as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel, guys. If you do consider subscribe to my channel as always.